Where do you want to be in 10 years? If we'd asked our 18-year-old selves that, the answer would have been effing rich. But what we meant was financially free. There are millions of pathways you can follow to get to financial freedom, but these mostly converge into one of just two super highways.
Two very different journeys, but with the same end destination. These routes can get you financially free after 10 years if you really want it. Most don't, so don't achieve it.
At the very least, you will improve your financial security, allowing you to control your own life. Which 10-year plan will you choose? Let's check it out.
Welcome to Unshackled.com, the investment and finance channel and website that says you and your finances free.
That was Andy and I'm Ben, and if you like what we say, hit the like button and click subscribe. Route 1, the graduate. Overview. This route involves being at the top of your game as an employee while converting all possible disposable income into investments which will one day support you financially.
Qualifications are everything. If you are following this route, you want to be the highest paid employee that you are capable of being, which means qualifications. Like it or not, graduates get paid more than non-graduates. A lot more.
Statistics from the Department for Education show the average salary for graduates over their lifetime is 34 grand. The corresponding figure for non-graduates is only 25 grand. But the qualification has to be both relevant and targeted.
When qualifications aren't everything. You can't be a performing arts graduate and expect to make decent money. Well, you can, but know you will define the odds. All qualifications have a cost to benefits ratio, and many UK degrees are unfortunately not worth the paper they are written on.
We can do some analysis to see which qualifications offer the best returns relative to the cost, essential if you're going to reach financial freedom after just 10 years. Seeing as the broken university system in the UK charges over 9 grand per degree where we are studying brain surgery or knitwear, at least for starting salaries, it's as simple as looking at which career offers the highest wage.
Best performing degrees. Here's the league table of degrees by cash output from graduatejobs.com. There's a 9k swing between the lowest and highest paid careers, though you could have chosen to do either and both cost the same to study.
At the low end are jobs that you don't traditionally associate with needing a degree, except surprisingly law, which we'll come back to soon. At the top end you have science and finance type jobs. League tables like these were the reason I chose accounting for my degree instead of pursuing a career in knitwear, amongst other reasons.
Keep going, professional qualifications. As well as a good starting salary, you also need speed. For this 10-year plan, you don't have time for gradual pay rises. This is where professional qualifications come in. This is a 10-year plan, not a 40-year one, so you need to ramp up that income fast. Best to choose a career that balances a good starting salary with lightning fast progression.
Jobs in the three traditional professions, law, accounting and medicine, typically offer structured routes up the career ladder with further professional qualifications, and these are available in some other careers too. It's why lawyers all end up loaded despite starting out as the T-boy.
Converting wages into assets. You might have built up a killer wage at this point relative to your living costs, but you need to convert that disposable income into financial assets. This is the exit lane on the graduate route. Most high-paid graduates convert their large disposable incomes into a bigger house, big new cars, big holidays, and big lifestyle choices. You can't afford any of this if you're shooting for an exit from the rat race. Instead, you need to be buying big investments.
You don't have much in the way of spare time for compounding in a 10-year plan, so a stock market portfolio made up of ETFs and index funds won't be sufficient. But they should do fine for a 20-year plan. You need big cash flowing investments with 20% plus annual returns.
Why property works. Investment property, leveraged with an interest-only mortgage, can yield cash returns of 10% per annum and a further 10% of return from leveraged capital growth, totaling that elusive 20%. These huge returns are only possible with leveraging by using a mortgage. The property returns mentioned are for carefully selected properties. You won't achieve this on any and every property.
You might be able to get similar returns from picking individual stocks, though these are far more volatile than property. We use Stockopedia to give us the best analysis and screening tools available for stock picking. It's how we try to get market-beating returns. Check out the link on moneyunshackled.com, link below, for a 25% discount.
The snowball effect. The ideal scenario for someone on the graduate route is to buy a rental property with a deposit of maybe £40,000 from their incredible salary, and then set aside the rental profits each month towards the next deposit. By reinvesting all of your cash profits, each subsequent house purchase should be a few months quicker to save for than the one before it.
Route 2. The entrepreneur. Overview. This route shuns formal education and instead involves starting up and owning a business. You build your own assets, which eventually run themselves.
The hard way. Respect to people who go down this route from the start. It's harder than the graduate route in the sense that it's unstructured and goes against social norms. There's no roadmap to success like you get with exams. You have to chart your own course.
The plan. Being an entrepreneur usually involves a couple of years or more of zero or negative profits while the business is established, and followed by expansion, hopefully into a successful organisation that pays for your lifestyle and then keeps on growing. Expect years 1 to 2 to involve scraping by on the breadline, after which things hopefully pick up significantly. You should be aiming to outsource all tasks to employees that you hire by the end of the 10 years.
Where the graduate route ended with a big pile of investments propped up the entire way by salary income, the entrepreneur route can build assets from almost no initial capital. You're building assets with your time rather than your money, though it does help to have some capital to put into. It is both your job and your freedom fund. If this business also produces excess cash, then that can also be invested into such things as stocks or property.
Getting out. Unless you can sell your business for a fortune and reinvest the winnings, the most likely exit lane from this route is hiring employees to run the business for you. 10 years should be ample time to turn a startup into a small business run by 2 or 3 employees, but we'd hope for bigger success than this.
The trick is to only choose a business model that has significant expansion potential. It doesn't really matter what the product is, what matters most is that the delivery method must be scalable. Most people class owning a single shop that you run yourself as a business. But do you own a business, or are you the business? Can the shop be run without you? Do you own a shop or a job?
If you were interested in retail, instead of opening a shop, you might instead open an online store. Or make it easy on yourself by selling your designs through established networks like Teespring or Etsy, like we are right now below this video. You don't see us selling mugs in a high street boutique stood behind a till. In theory, we could sell 100,000 mugs by having an online presence, with 0 overhead costs. Maybe on the high street you could shift 20 a day, while paying crippling rent and business rates.
If only it were that easy. Thinking of a business idea is too hard, people always say. It's not really, it's implementing it that's the challenge, and committing to it every day. You just need to look at the world and find a product that needs improving on, or a problem that needs a new solution.
If an idea can't be scaled up using the internet, forget it and try again. You're only making it harder on your future self trying to find the exit lane. Any business idea for financial freedom in 10 years must be capable of removing you from the driving seat.
Other considerations. Location. Whatever route you take, you want to make sure that you're following the path of least resistance. Where you choose to live does have a big impact. You don't want to be tossing all your disposable income on bills and living expenses when you could be investing them into your property portfolio or business instead.
Using your biggest living expense, your housing cost, as a proxy for earnings power, there is a clear north-south divide. According to comparethemarket.com, while the average salary for southerners at 26k is a little higher than those of northerners at just over 21k, the disparity in average house prices is far scarier. 144 grand for the north versus 328 grand for the south. Better still, some entrepreneurs manage to lower their living costs by living in a more affordable place and then selling their products and services in the more affluent parts of the world.
Mission accomplished. What next? If you're committed, we believe 10 years is all it takes to turn your life around. From a school leaver with nothing to being either financially free or free enough so that your life isn't controlled by money decisions. Your next steps for an entrepreneur could be growing that business further until you reach millionaire status, or if you followed the graduate route, starting again down the entrepreneur route. Made far easier now by having passive property income to fall back on.
Question of the day: what other routes to financial freedom can you think of? Let us know in the comments below.
Thanks for watching. On this channel we talk a lot about personal finance, investing and all things money. And if you want to see more great content, please click the subscribe button below.
Visit moneyunshackled.com. See you next time.